Yo, what's up, folks? Thanks for tuning back into the channel. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for all the questions and comments on the last several videos I've done. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing good out there, getting a chance to go fishing, getting a chance to go hunting, whatever it is you're doing this time of the year. I'm finally going to get to go fishing again this weekend. I'm right excited about that, I ain't gonna lie. Been working on getting the boat back right and changing some line, getting some rods rigged up. I want to do a short video in keeping with the recent trends that I've been talking about as we go from fall into winter and colder water fishing. We had a couple of cold snaps and now we're in the middle of a warming trend, it seems like. I do know the water temperature in the rivers right now is between 54 to 60, somewhere in there. I've heard that from a couple of different guys that I know locally that have been on the water recently. And so I know the water's cooled down quite a bit. I'm really looking forward to getting out there Saturday and just enjoying the day being out there. I'm going to record and hopefully come up with some good stuff and some fish catches and be able to break it down and tell you what worked and why it worked, that kind of thing. But today's video, again, keeping with the trend of fall into winter, water still cooling down. And I've mentioned earlier in the last few videos ago, a lot of the bait fish is smaller at the beginning of the fall. Late summer, early fall, into the month of November, you're seeing a lot of smaller bait fish. And that's something a lot of people key on. One thing I've noticed over the last several years is, you guys know I usually keep at least 3 to 4 rods rigged up with a crankbait. One thing I've done on days when I'm out there and I'm catching a lot of fish on the smaller baits, I'll do this in a tournament when I'm trying to get a bigger bite. And there's one thing I do in particular, and that's I will always have a bigger crankbait tied on. Now, everyone has different models of baits they got confidence in. I've heard so much talk about the Hybrid Hunter from Strike King. I'm not here to knock the Hybrid Hunter. I've got a few of them. I've got the junior and the bigger one. I'm going to be straight up like I usually am with you guys, like I always am with you guys. I have had more success with the 6th Sense 77X, Swank 77X crankbait than I have the Hybrid Hunter. This is a crankbait in the fall. Anytime you're around grass, it only dives 3 or 4 foot on 12-pound line. The action on this is a little bit more of a wider wobble action than the Hybrid Hunter. Not much, but a little bit. I have just had more luck with the with the 6th Sense Swank 77X is the model. And this color right here has been really good in the fall. One other thing I want to mention too while I'm thinking about it. As the water gets colder, you know how in the spring I'm talking about, I'm always looking for crankbaits where that color really pops. May and June is when the bluegill and the bass and all the fish start to really get a lot of their vibrant color back. As this water gets colder, you want to start going to baits that are a little bit more pale. Because if you fished any time at all in the winter, the bluegill, the bass, the crappie, even the perch, they start to get a lot more pale and a lot more almost like a faded out tint of color to them. And I think that's part of the reason why baits like this or colors like this, these are 2 of the 6th Sense Swank 77Xs I was just talking about. But I will start in December. I don't wait till January or February anymore. I mentioned this too. In December, I'll start throwing the red again, red and orange. But this crankbait, you can retrieve it however you wish. I've had a lot of luck with it on my 5 to 4 to 1s, just a slow, steady crank. Like I said, on 12-pound line, it'll get down about 3 or 4 feet. Another one that I have a lot of luck with, and when I start looking for a bigger crankbait to throw, is the 2.5 Strike King square bill. That's a little bluegill color. That's another little shed color. Again, you notice it's kind of pale, kind of bleached out. Colder the water gets, I really think the colors like that seem to come into play. But don't ever forget the chartreuse with the black back. But this is more, when it starts getting down to 55 and below, I don't throw this color a lot unless the water's really, really, really muddy. I'll pull that back out. But this bluegill, you know, it's got a little pop to it, but it's not as bright as some of the other ones I got. And this guy right here, he's really bleached out. Those two crankbaits, I'll have one of those tied on. I'll have my, you know, my bacon, my Black Label bacon tied on. I'll have the OG Tiny tied on that I talk about. Probably a DT6, something like that. But then on that, I'll always have one crankbait rod with a big crankbait on it, just to keep it honest. And a lot of times, as that water gets colder, I've noticed, especially into January, February, the bigger fish seem to want a bigger meal. And some people say that's the case year round, but there's certain times of the year I feel like that's more, you see that really show itself more, that bite, where you catch bigger fish with a bigger bait. Pre-spawn, late fall, early winter into the pre-spawn is when I see that. A big jig, I talked about I go up in size with my jig, a big crankbait, a bigger spinner bait, 1/2 to 3/4 that you can slow roll and keep closer to the bottom. One other thing I do is I do the same thing with my jerk baits. I try to keep them pale. I start throwing a jerkbait a little more. Now, I'm not a big jerkbait guy, but this time of the year, I do throw it. I keep telling myself I need to throw them more during the year. In the warmer months, I just don't do it. This is the 6th Sense Provoke jerkbait. Throw this one. This is the same jerkbait. This is just a pale one. This is a brand new one. I got another one of these. It's a little bit chewed up, so I ordered a couple more a few months back. I just got to change the hooks out on it. I have to put my red hooks on it, I should say. And this is actually a Academy Sports jerkbait. And the thing with the Academy jerkbaits is you'll buy 3, you'll get one that works really well, and the other 2, honestly, kind of junk. They just don't suspend, they don't float right. It's different things. But this one I've had good success with, this particular color. It's actually called Ghost Shad, and this is an Academy jerkbait. But the biggest point of this video is, one, as the water gets colder, you want to go to more pale and bleached out baits, because that's pretty much what happens to a lot of the fish. Even in the river, lake, it doesn't matter where you fish, those fish just get more pale and bleached out. And with the crankbait, same thing. You want to go with a more pale, bleached out color, and you want to keep it honest and try the 2.5, or if you're a hybrid hunter guy, that's a good one to try. I personally stick with the 6th Sense 77X Swank crankbait. And that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to touch on. The bigger crankbaits, the color of your bait, how you want it to bleach out, and you want it to be more, you know, just don't have as much pop to it. Because, like I said, if you fish in the winter at all, you see that in what you're catching and the bait that they're eating. Same thing with the jerk baits. So I hope this, guys, I hope it helps you catch a few more fish. Just keep these things in mind next time you go out. Man, I'm going to have some on-the-water footage for you, breaking down some stuff and hopefully catching some this weekend. The river close to the house is coming back up. It was really low. It's starting to come back up again. Water temperature's good. You know, I'm going to be out there slinging my crankbaits, flipping the jig, tossing the jerkbait around. And I got a couple of baits from the Gorilla Squad Soft Plastics. I really want to try on my bladed jigs, and probably on my other flipping jig as well, just to give them a go, try to find more ways to implement them into what I'm doing. So again, I hope this helps. If you got any questions, comments, please leave them at the bottom. One more thing, a few guys have asked me about links. Guys, I'm not sponsored or have any affiliation with like Tackle Warehouse, Bass Pro, anyone like that. That's why I don't put links that'll take you straight to their website. But what I will do from here on out is I will try to send you links to the company that makes it. Like I'll put a link in so you can go to 6thSense.com or StrikeKing.com to check out the baits if you want. A lot of times guys will give you links to Tackle Warehouse or Bass Pro if they have any kind of affiliation or sponsorship with them, and that gives you like a 10% discount. I don't have any of that, not to this point. I don't know, maybe down the road, maybe something will happen with that. Right now, I just don't have that. But I will put links in the description so you can go check out the baits that I talk about. There'll be links to the actual company websites. So you can go on there and check their stuff out. So anyway, I hope this helps. Hope you guys get out there, catch some fish. Give me some comments, feedback on what you're doing, what you're catching, and how things are going for you. I really appreciate all the feedback back and forth. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.